I was so afraid that I would never see that version of myself again. I was so afraid that it was gone. I remember, being on vacation with, other girls and telling them, I used to have a beautiful body.
Hi honeys, it's Emmy. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Emmy. I'm a nutritionist and the creator of the Slim on Starch program, where my clients lose anywhere from the last few pounds to up to 70 pounds and counting. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and click the link in the down bar or go to healthyemmy.org. Also make sure that you hit subscribe and you turn on the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I'm uploading a video, which is on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I have been itching to share today's video with you because it is an interview with my client, Julia. And honeys, you are going to love this woman. She is unbelievable. I adore her. And I think that a lot of you are really going to identify very, very closely with her, because what she talks about is, before we started working together, she was one of those people where you see her from the outside and she's got it going on. She's gorgeous. She lives in New York City. She's highly intelligent. She has a great social life. And from the outside, you'd say, oh, she has nothing to worry about. I want to be her. She's probably so happy. But she was really having a hard time on the inside. And she says in the interview, I just wanted to feel beautiful again. I didn't feel beautiful. And she talks about how there was this old version of herself that she wanted to get back to, and she was so afraid would never come back. She is real, she is raw, and I really, really think you are going to identify with this. So not only is she going to talk about what she was struggling with before, but she's going to talk about where she is now. And she's going to prove to you that if you feel this way, you do not have to feel this way forever. And I know it feels like, is it always going to be like this? I think it's always going to be this way. And Julia proves that that is not the case. So you definitely are going to want to watch this. So I start by having Julia introduce herself, and let's get into it.
My name is Julia. I'm from New York City, born and raised. I study computer science, and it pretty much takes up all of my life, all of my time. It's a very rigorous curriculum. And in addition to that, there's so many internships and side projects that I have to do. When I actually do have time, when I'm not studying, I like to travel a lot. I'm hoping I can travel abroad this year. I do lots of yoga. I'm a diehard Yankee fan, go to lots of baseball games. And I also really love supporting the arts and going to really fun events here in New York City.
Well, there it is. Now, I have to say, Julia, people will hear this, they'll see you, and they'll say, she has it all together. Why was she why did she reach out to Emmy to join the Slim on Starch program? So can you tell us about that?
Yeah, definitely. So I actually I came here as a vegan already. I've been vegan since 2016, and, began on pretty much the right path. I was eating really healthy, lots of vegetables, lots of fruits, very similar to how I'm eating now. But there were definitely some lifestyle changes that made it very hard for me to stick to that healthy lifestyle that I had. When I first became vegan, I had a nice normal job, 9 to 5, and then I decided, okay, I want to be an engineer. I want to study computer science. And I knew it would be a challenge, but I didn't realize how it would, oh my God, I didn't realize how it would just turn my life upside down, and I would forget how to take good care of myself. Academic stress, I would, my hunger signals would just not work when I was really anxious and preparing for those crazy exams, and I would just not eat before exams. And by the time finals were done, I would just overdo it. I would overindulge to the point where I wasn't even eating vegan food anymore. Anything calorically dense, I'd just grab. After finals, oh my God, let's go get wine and cheese, and burgers and buffalo wings. We did it. We deserve this. And also, I have ADHD, and it's something that I really struggle with. It's actually my biggest insecurity. Like, forget bodies, forget all that, I really struggle with that. And I was definitely prescribed medication that did interfere with my hunger signals a lot. Sometimes we're prescribed stimulants because we lack a lot of dopamine. And although it help improve my quality of life at first, again, my hunger signals, I stopped being hungry and I stopped eating consistently. And when I did eat, I was over hungry, and it was just too much. It was a lot of weight fluctuations, being really thin, then getting really chunky again. And even my mom started to notice, and I realized, oh my goodness, am I not at a consistent weight? What's going on with me? And I just didn't know what to eat anymore. I didn't know. And I thought I was eating healthy. And I thought I was eating the right foods, but as it turns out, I wasn't. And as a result, I felt really foggy just in the brain. And I felt also a little like really insecure about the way I looked. I didn't feel like I looked like myself. And I know it sounds really silly and it sounds very vain. When I was talking to you and Kiki and Rachel at first, I told them, look, I I really want to feel good about myself. I really want to feel beautiful again. And that's been a real struggle. And I don't know if that's a good enough reason to want to join this program.
It really is. And that was so eloquently put. You really, really summed that up so well, something that so many women feel. And it's exactly what you just said right there, that from the outside, everything looks gravy. You're gorgeous and you're smart and you have friends and you live in New York City. But you said to yourself, I wanted to feel beautiful again. And it didn't even matter what the number on the scale was, what the size of my jeans were. It was about how I felt on the inside.
Yeah. And like I said, I just did not know what to eat. I was, luckily, other things were falling into place. Academically, it was falling into place. And, I found other methods, alternative methods, to really help me with the ADHD I was really, really struggling with, that was impacting my life. But then on the other hand, not everything kind of fell into place, within my body. I just felt so odd. So I just wanted, like with my goals, like I just really wanted the weight fluctuations to stop. I just felt congested and I felt weighed down. I just wanted a more sustainable version of me. I just didn't want to be puffy one week and thin the next week. I just needed some consistency, because I don't own a scale. I don't know how much I weigh right now. I really don't. And I don't really care how much I weigh, to be quite honest. I don't really care about the number. I just want some consistency here. Yeah.
Now tell me, because you said, I got to this point where I was like, I don't even, you were fluctuating between before the exam, not eating, and then after the exam, go out, eat whatever. Were you in a position where, and I know the answer to this, but I want the people listening to be able to resonate with this. Were you in a position where you knew what you needed to eat, but you could not put that into play? Or you were in a position where you were like, I have no idea what to do. There's all this conflicting diet advice. Can somebody tell me what to do?
Oh my goodness. It was the worst combination of both. I mean, really. I would, I mean, I was looking at, all these, I don't know, all these like, you know, influencers and people and what they ate. And I was trying to go back to what I was in 2016 when I first became vegan. It was like, oh my goodness, excuse me for saying this. It was like I was high on life, and I was like, oh, everything's beautiful. My body's beautiful. Life is beautiful. Everything's beautiful. And I was really trying to get back to that and struggling to get back to that feeling. And it's like, no matter what vegan thing I ate, I couldn't get back to that. But on the other hand, you know, I, it goes back to convenience. If you're studying and you're in the library and you're going to pull an all-nighter there, which should not happen. Um, I know what I should be eating to fuel myself, but the vending machine is right there.
And I remember on our first phone call, you were talking about when you first went vegan, and something you said on that call, I remember so vividly, was you were like, I know that version of me is inside of me somewhere because I've had it for a little bit before. I know that it's in there and I want to get that back. And I think that's something that so many people identify with is they say, I want to feel like my old self again.
That was really difficult for me because I was so afraid that I would never see that version of myself again. I was so afraid that it was gone. I remember, being on vacation with, other girls and telling them, I used to have a beautiful body. Like, and now I'm thinking, what? What are you saying? So luckily, that's not the case. But it's just kind of sad to me that I really thought I'd never see this version of myself again. In fact, I think this version's even better because if we're being honest, I was healthy, I was happy, I did feel great, but I wasn't aware of the fact that I wasn't aware as to why those foods were really helping me. I was just eating them, but I was blindly eating them and blindly enjoying my life, but I just wasn't thinking, "Oh, this is why this works for me right now." I just had no idea. But now at least, I can go back to that, but also know what the purpose is, like what, why I eat so many potatoes, and why it works, etc.
You really just gave me, honest to God, gave me goosebumps when you said I was so afraid that version of myself would never come back. Because that is such a true, real, raw emotion that so many people have. And you're proof that not only do you get back to the way that you used to feel before, but it's an even better version of yourself. So let's talk about what your results were, because I know your goals were you wanted to stop those weight fluctuations and get to a place that you could stay at and stay there for life. So let's talk about it. What did you accomplish in the 8 weeks?
Oh, wow. Okay. Like I said, I don't own a scale. We don't own a scale back home. We don't really feel the need to. I know my body really well, and I know when it
And
feels
you can
right.
talk about how you tracked your.
I'm gonna say that. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I don't own a scale. But there are pictures, there are clothes, there are so many ways, for you to track your progress. And, even though I don't have a scale, I had to know somehow that it was working. And I didn't just want to feel it within myself. I also wanted to, show I call them my cheerleaders, like everyone who, helped me in this program. I wanted to show them, hey, this is working, thank you. Um, so I had this idea, because when I was doing my initial intake, I was telling them, look, I don't feel happy wearing a bikini anymore. I'm so sad. So what I did was that I took out, this leopard bikini that I had, that I would wear, back when I was more confident. And every week, from, the day before the program started, I would send you guys a bikini picture. And it's like every week, like it would shrink, shrink, shrink. It started with my stomach. And I was just so excited to, get your reactions and everything. And then eventually I had to switch bikinis, and it was awesome. I don't know. And then I don't know. And then I started sending them to my friends and stuff. I was like, hey, I'm hot. Look at me. Look at my body right now.
Honestly, like you would have me screaming. And it's two different humans from beginning to end, two different humans.
No,
In the
but
bikini,
yeah,
it honestly looked like you were wearing different bikini sizes. It was
yeah,
wild.
yeah. It was so wild. And I mean, okay, and then there's also the part where I would go into my closet and there would be, like a few pairs of pants or a few pairs of shorts that would just kind of be sitting off, to the side and the back because it's like, oh, I don't fit into those. But I decided, what if what if? And I took them out and I thought, oh my God, not only do these fit, they're actually a little bit loose. So that's how I tracked my progress. But yeah, there's the physical aspect, like I feel happy. I'm really confident in myself finally for the first time in over 2 years. That's all great. But I said this before, it really means nothing if I don't feel great on the inside too, because there was a time when I was really, really thin and I wasn't happy. I wasn't okay. I didn't feel great. But I mean, I feel great now. I feel clear-headed. Um, the funny thing is that in the before picture, it's kind of embarrassing, but my room was so messy. I mean, there was just so much fog in my head. And I think that was really a reflection of how I was doing. And then every picture after that, oh, everything's clear, everything's nice. It just got better each week.
That is actually a very valid point that you make, because there is a direct correlation between one's health and one's weight and financially how stable they are. It's wild. If you have your health together, then you can get every other part of your life together. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything.
Yeah, man. I mean, you told me at the very beginning, this diet's going to help with your schoolwork. And I'm going to be honest. I was like, what? No, it's not. What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, that's what I thought at first, but it's really true. I mean, I feel, the fog is just, it's kind of gone.
So that was just part one. And in part two, we are going to talk about how she got there, the mindset shifts that she was experiencing, the mindset that she had before we started working together. And that part two is so good. I wanted to put it into part one, but I wanted to make a separate video because I didn't want this video to be too long. But now I'm rambling away, and I think that you probably already are sick of me at this point. You just want to hear from Julia. So I will have you wait for part two, where you'll hear more from Julia. And until then, I love ya, and I'll see you in the next one. Woo!